How's it going, everybody? This is the Moon Man Experience, and I'm so glad that you decided to tune in today and listen to who I was talking to. I've got someone real special here. You guys know him, and you guys love him. He's the founder of Deep Profits, the master coder, and the genius behind Fleet Pass. Xcode, how are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for inviting me to be here with you today.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you on. You're literally a staple in the community. Everybody knows who you are. You're really putting in some hard work, and I really just wanted to get to know you a little bit better, and I'm sure the community does as well. So, maybe you could just tell me a little bit about where, Xcode came from, a little bit about what Deep Profits is, and how you got started, and just give us a little bit of a background of you.
Yeah, sure. Um, so the name Xcode. I mean, if you're familiar with Apple and its developer tools, that's the tool set that they use. But anyway, Xcode actually came from World of Warcraft. That was my character's name in uh,
Nice,
in the
nice.
burning. Yeah. So um, it actually wasn't ever meant to be a kind of a public name. It was just something generic for one of my alts that I came up with one day. And because I started Deep Profits as Xcode, and everybody learned me to be that person or that name, I had to stick with it. So it's becoming more. It's becoming more of my online identity than it has been in the past. So yeah, and then as far as Deep Profits goes, that guild was founded right at the beginning of the initial set of ships that were launched at the end of August, early September, and it was really as a way for me to invite people to just look at some of the tools I was using to programmatically access the serum decks and place orders for ships, um, and just to teach people how that process worked.
Right,
I
right.
had a feeling that the Star Atlas website might be congested, and that the tools that they had released may not be the easiest to use with all the congestion. And so I thought if I could get on the decks and be making orders there, then um, I'd have that advantage over the rush of people. And I didn't want to just keep that advantage. I wanted to share that with people, which was how Deep Profits was started.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm really glad that you're helping out the community. I know you do that a lot now, especially in their main Discord, right? You're always in there, helping everybody out and trying to onboard um, people the easiest way. You know how to show them to, just to get their ships and get them in their wallets and get them to start enlisting the ships. So, um, yeah, tell us a little bit about you know how how you maybe plan to help onboard people and really maybe it's just tackling the Discord, right? Maybe just tell us a little bit about um, how you plan on doing that.
Yeah, sure. So on I think onboarding new players has a few important stages that they go through, and this is like I see this in the Discord. Like you have these groups of people that are not familiar with blockchain or Solana at all, and really it's just about getting them on the blockchain, getting some Sol in their wallet, and teaching them how to use the tools like Phantom and SolScan. Um, and then you have this other group of people who are familiar with crypto, but they're right into Score, and they already own ships, and they've been following the community for a while, and they're just um, having a bit of trouble navigating Score. And so one of the things that we've been doing is just making quick guides. The club, Ronnie at the club, has been making really good, quick instructional videos, just how to get your ship staked and how to claim your rewards and stuff. And then you have this other side where there's legitimate like technical problems, either with someone's internet, maybe their service provider is blocking Star Atlas, maybe maybe their internet connection isn't working, maybe the RPC nodes for Solana aren't working, or there's caching issues, and so
Right,
there's
right.
these legitimate tech problems that we're growing through. I'll say growing because the whole Solana ecosystem is growing through them, and
Yeah,
we'll
growing
take those as
pains.
they come. Yeah, and
Yeah.
just so it's kind of a three. There's three pieces right now. There's these three different groups, and um, I think the best way to tackle them is for new players. If you're a new player and you're having trouble, like find a guild and join a guild, right? Ask questions in their Discord. Those people, there's a really good sense of community in the guilds, and questions get answered real quick. You can always open a ticket right in the Star Atlas main Discord if you want. There's a really good support community there, and otherwise, seek out the content creators on YouTube and Twitter and ask them.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of content creators, I know Dowcast shout out to him. I know he made a really good video on his YouTube, literally taking you step by step from square one, from A to Z on how to buy the ship, set up the Phantom wallet, and get that ship in your wallet, get that ship enlisted, and start staking that Atlas. So yeah, the community is really really helpful, and everybody is happy to answer questions. So please do not be afraid to ask anybody listening to this, and you're wondering how to get into Star Atlas and start earning some Atlas. So the next one I want to ask you about is we were kind of talking off recording here about where the name Deep Profits came from. Do you maybe want to touch a little bit on that? I thought that
Yeah,
was a pretty
yeah,
awesome story.
sure. And so there's so at the beginning of this year, at the beginning of 2021,
Hmm.
I wanted to I wanted to learn more about crypto trading. I, I've always been a buy high, sell low kind of person, and I've always just found trying to trade crypto was very frustrating, um, and I get it. There's like this psychological aspect to it. There's the fact that I'm not a big financial person to begin with, and I thought, what, I'm going to find a trading group. I'm going to find somebody that has a good reputation, and I'm going to ask them to teach me. And um, so I found a group called Signal Profits. It's actually they have a Discord, and they have kind of like a paid subscription program. And
Right.
I joined that group, and I spent time with them and learned a little bit about trading. Okay, when it came time to when Star Atlas came along, I was actually participating in that group, and and I wanted to give back to that community of people, um, but without filling up the Signal Profits Discord with all my Star Atlas stuff. I was a little bit excited about it, and
Yeah.
rather than just completely fill Discord with everything I was doing, I thought
Sometimes it's
I'll make a
hard.
separate channel.
You
And
just want to tell the world about it.
yeah, yeah, when you get passionate about something, you want to tell people, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I started the group. And actually, I had a different name in the beginning. I'm not going to get into it, but the so the Deep Profits name was a play on words from the Signal Profits world, um, and that was kind of the beginning of it. It was just a few of us, the few of us, like I think there was maybe six people
Hmm.
from Signal Profits in there, just kind of trading ideas, um, and I think I posted a link to. I think I posted like one of those Discord invite links to the Interstellar Alliance Discord, and then to the official Star Atlas Discord, and the thing grew to 50 or 100 people within a few days, and the rest is history, basically.
It's amazing. Yeah, no, you got a good thing going over there. And it's funny, we talked about this too. I actually remember joining, I don't know how I came across you and Deep Profits, but there was one time it was me, you, my one buddy that's not even in Star Atlas anymore, and like five other people, and we were all just talking. And I remembered your name, and we had a cool conversation. And I thought Xcode was so cool. I thought that was an awesome name. And we were all talking about something. I don't know. It was like for an hour or something. And then I remember that's just I was in your Discord, but I just really never checked back into it till like later on when I came across your name and I think like a Twitter Spaces or somewhere in Discord, and I was like, whoa, this whole thing changed. Like you changed the channels, you made it official, and it actually looked like a real Discord. So kudos to you and how far you've come along, and really the team that you've built over there at Deep Profits. I definitely want to give my flowers. You guys are really doing some great things, and then especially this fleet pass. We could talk about that if you want to. It's just amazing to see you doing all this work, and really helping out a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, did you want to dig into Fleet Pass a little bit?
If you want to, or we can dig into a little bit more about maybe where you got what your background is when it comes to coding, and how that whole journey in life got started. You tell me.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Let's
Take
go.
it where
Let's
you
start
want to.
there.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
do
let's
that.
start
Yeah.
there. So my background is in DevOps.
Okay.
I worked for about 10 years in a software company doing Linux system administration, high availability emergency systems, and tech support. So I started at the bottom of the tech support team and worked my way through that, and eventually became the manager of that department. And that was about 10 years of my career right at the very beginning, which kind of led into a bit of family history. My dad was a cinematographer. He worked um, for IMAX for a number of years, and developed some of their 3D camera systems.
Mm-hmm.
And he came home one day and he said, we've got this problem at work. We've got these huge cameras and we need to shrink them, and they need to be computer driven and all this stuff. And it sparked this thing in me, like, we can build this. Like, I know I have the connections in the supply system to find you all the little pieces you need. And I was building servers every day anyways, so we sat down and we designed and built one of the first 3D camera systems together, digital
That's so
camera
cool.
systems together. And so that led into a mini career in the film business. um, Worked on a number of feature films and worked for a few studios doing color grading and 3D work and stereography. And then that lifestyle isn't really good for marriage and children. And I was newly married and wanted to
Right.
start a family, and got out of that, and basically said, what is my skill set good at, and something that I can be close to my family and stuff. And so, having worked with software developers for a number of years, and seeing, you can work from home, uh, you can you can basically build anything you can think of with the right tool set, right, and with the right audience. And I really like that. And I don't think I have a natural affinity for software development. At least sitting down and coding, I find that challenging. But I took that challenge on and learned to code on my own time. Um, and I basically gave up my role as a senior DevOps guy and took a junior developer role at a company near where I live, and learned the ropes there. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna this is the sacrifice, or the change I'm gonna make to be more family oriented. And it turned out to be a great decision. I had a few years of software development, um, and that went really well. Um, but like all things, all good things, they come to an end. The company we work for got acquired by a bigger company, and they assimilated all the software we had, and they basically let everybody go on our team, and took the project out of country, kind of thing. So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
So uh, without going into too many details about that entire story,
Yeah. Yeah.
that led me to start my own business.
Beautiful.
And that's something I had done in the past, and just given the situation I was in, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do this myself. And so for the last 3 years, I've been building my own web design company, web hosting company. And when Star Atlas came along, um, there was a really good fit there, because there was this like content gap where there's all kinds of eyeballs that want to learn about Star Atlas, and they don't have anywhere to go to get content. So along with the Deep Profits Discord, I made deepprofits.org. I made our Metaplex store. I made FleetPass.app. And it was just kind of this like, I'm going to keep bolting stuff on here to give to the community until I have a product, essentially. And Fleet Pass was going to be that product. So this is a good segue into Fleet Pass, which was, it was like, how do you extract, how do you put all this time and energy into something and then get something back out of it, right? Like,
Right,
this is the
right.
conundrum that most people are having right now, especially young developers. Like, how do I build something for this ecosystem and earn some money back? Well, you build a product that has a real world use. You know,
Hmm.
you don't create an NFT system that has no utility unless your art is like top tier. Like, you got to have some utility. You got to have like a reason for people to want your product, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
um, the only bridge that I could think of that wasn't being filled was between the guilds. Like, how do the guilds see each other's assets, and how do they recognize who has the biggest fleet and who has the smallest fleet, or who's specializing in one area or a different area? And I figured that could be done through an NFT. You could have guilds mint their own NFTs or purchase them from me, and put those NFTs in their wallets. Specific groups of NFTs go to specific groups of wallets, and then this app Fleet Pass tracks the assets in those wallets and collects them
It's
as if they're part of the
genius.
same team. Yeah, in the dashboard.
Yeah, that's
And
yeah.
yeah, and that's basically where that idea was born out of. And I think we have 5 guilds on there right now, and they've been awesome to work with. I've loved getting to know everybody on there, and um, I have a lot of plans for Fleet Pass, and things are moving so quickly that it's just like, where do you focus your time and energy and stuff, right? So that's what I'm working out right now in the new year.
Yeah, yeah, no, time management is always something everybody's trying to figure out and tackle. But you have a really level head. Fleet Pass is genius, and I don't know if anybody's ever told you before, but being a coder, um, and a coder that's so good at his craft and what he does, you truly are like a master of the universe because and we can go down this path if you want, but we don't have to. If we do live in a simulation, then I mean, the coder is really the hierarchy, right? I mean, you're really the one that can move, shift, and bend time as we know it. It's just about figuring out the code of life. Um, so, I mean, you're already headed that direction. Now, that's obviously big picture, but what you're doing here for Star Atlas and all the guilds is gorgeous. It's beautiful. I love it, and I think a lot of people respect that.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah, so when it comes to Star Atlas and the Atlas token, we've also got Polis. We talked about this on the Twitter Spaces a couple days back, and a lot of people are talking about possibly, taking Atlas and doing a few things with it, keeping some Atlas, turning some into USD, sending off some to other exchanges and buying different NFTs. But a lot of people are buying Polis right now at a discount. Are you doing that? And maybe what's your take on
Yeah, so I'll start by saying, like, if you had the choice of choosing whose trades to follow, you wouldn't pick mine because they're not
that?
that great. But I can speak to some of the discussions we had on Polis,
Right.
and um, I am accumulating Polis. Um, I'm looking at it at this price zone, and I'm going, are we ever going to see it this low again? Is it going to
Mm-hmm.
keep going lower? Like, I have mixed feelings about it. I don't know where the price action is going, but regardless, I want to be accumulating more Polis. Um, I want to be in a position where I have a say in the future of the metaverse, in the Star Atlas metaverse, down the road. And it might be a small say, and it might be part of a bigger group. And that group could be Deep Profits or Interstellar Alliance or the UMO. But I want to know that our group, um, and our faction is made up of people of like mind, and that they are significant holders of Polis. So that's definitely something that I'm thinking about now. Um, Unfortunately, I'm not a wealthy person. I don't have a lot in crypto, and so compared to others at this point, uh, my influence has to come through what I make and the impressions that I make on people, and it has to come through teaching people to have proper risk management and teaching them to be um, like good human beings,
Yeah, you
and
have to
teaching
be
them to have
wealthy in
yeah
spirit. Yeah.
wealthy in spirit, good. Like if you have a good work ethic, you need to have a good metaverse ethic, right? A lot of games that I've played, um, you don't see that. You just see people just acting like it's a game, and like there's nothing on the line, because there isn't. It's just your time, right?
Right.
What we're dealing with right now is like could be life changing for a lot of people, and it should be, and we should encourage people to make the most of it, and we should encourage them to bring their real world ethics into these games and to sharpen each other's ethics, right? Like that's a huge part of what I think we should do. So as far as like Atlas earnings, I'm r- stocking up on resources in Score.
Hmm.
I'm like making spreadsheets on so that I can try and understand better what are my ships doing? Like, what's the resource management like? What are the differences between different ships? So, if you looked at my account, you'd see like all kinds of ship transfers in and out. Like, I'm buying and selling different ships. I want to see what they're like.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
try out different refuel times and get to know that. And then I have one or two core ships that are just going to sit there and probably be the ship that I fly every day while I'm in Star Atlas. So when the Atlas tokens come in, they've been spent. I've spent them on resources. I've spent them on some Polis. Um, I converted some to USDC just to say I did, right. Like
Right. Right.
um, and now I'm actually letting the Atlas just build up. I just want to see how high that number can go, right? Like I'm not in a rush. I have all the resources I need. I'm like a long term believer in the project, and I want to see those big Atlas numbers, and I want to post them on Discord and go, look, I've got like 10,000 Atlas in this
Yeah.
fleet or whatever in a year down the road or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, definitely convert some to Polis. Um, Atlas is meant to be a utility, right? Like you like spend it, use it on the things you want to use it on. Build something that people will give you Atlas for and charge them Atlas for it, right? Like
Yes.
make the
Yes.
utility for the token, and it will hold its value, um, and it'll grow in value, right? But just like every other crypto, it's going to go up and down, and you got to take that for what it is, right?
Yeah. The ebbs and flows of the market can be some crazy, rough waves to say the least. But I think you said all of that really, really beautifully, and you put it in a really relatable way. And I think we all agree with that wholeheartedly. Um, so let me ask you this:
Sure.
you mentioned World of Warcraft. When this game
Hmm.
comes out, how do you think your experience in World of Warcraft and any other type of MMO is going to translate into Star Atlas? Now, this comes into play. Now, this is basically speculation,
Yeah.
because we don't know how this game's going to play out, right?
Yeah.
Um, how do you think that's gonna it's gonna affect the game, your gameplay? You think you've got some experience there, or do you think we're dealing with a whole new monster? And um, yeah, yeah,
So, um, so I think like because we're we're a few years from seeing like full blown metaverse gameplay, like
mm-hmm.
an MMO where everybody's like together, right?
Right, right,
My impression is that we're a couple years out. I think we're gonna have access to the UE5 content much sooner, just in stages, right? And so
correct.
it'll be interesting. The community has to accept that we're being given things in small pieces and get on board with that. And I think it's a good way of doing it. It's an agile way of doing things. You're releasing the minimum viable product, and then you're building on it, right? And the early investors in Star Atlas, meaning the people who have bought ships and who have bought posters stuff, like you're super early in the investment process, and the benefit is that you're going to have first access to everything that comes out as it comes. So I think that's very cool. So you mentioned World of Warcraft. So
Mm-hmm.
that was the difference is that Blizzard dropped the whole thing on you in a functional way, right? There was a small beta window, if I remember correctly, back in man, when did it come out? 2009? No, 2005. Okay, this is like maybe a 1 year beta from 2004 to 2005,
Yeah.
and then I picked up Warcraft right when the Burning Crusade was coming out. Is that the second expansion? The Burning Crusade, the first expansion. Anyway, so I was a much younger person. I didn't have kids. I wasn't married. I had all kinds of free time. Um, I don't have a single thing to show for the thousands of hours that I spent playing Warcraft. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, I have great memories.
Yeah.
I have no financial benefit whatsoever to being early to that show. Same goes for Legion. Same goes for Classic when it came out. And I just think that having ownership over your assets in Star Atlas is is going to completely change the way that people think about gaming, right? Not only is it
Yes.
going to be a AAA experience that's unlike anything they've ever seen, and but you'll be like the owner of your own domain, and the time that you put into it, you can sell. Like you can create things to sell to people. Um, and I'm a big fan of existing traditional and online businesses bringing their products to Star Atlas because I think that's healthy. I think that like existing businesses can bring their products in, and we can provide some kind of connection to that, like an ordering experience. Like I think somebody mentioned the example of like buying a pizza in the metaverse and having it delivered in real life, and I just went, yes, like I think that's I think that's exactly the kind of stuff I want to
That'd be
see.
cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So my player experience for Star Atlas is how can I integrate it with the things that I do as a dad, and how can I like like how can I teach my children about investing through exposing them to this quote unquote game, right? Like, um, yeah. So that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, I never I guess I never really looked at it that way. I always said this is a dawn of a new age because, I've got a buddy and his son and him and his sons, they all play video games. Super, super cool household. Um, but I was telling him, I was like, yo, like this is a new space that we're moving into because your kids can now get into this game, play this, and they can help you pay rent. They can, like you said, learn finances, learn how to invest, learn interest, learn, um, economics, and learn a little bit of political, domination, and learn how to interact with other players. Like you get to learn everything, a plethora of things, and that's what Star Atlas is bringing to the table for everybody. Um, and so, what I'm kind of getting at with the kids is for fathers to sons or fathers to daughters, this is just a new wave of we can show you money and we can show you how to handle that money in the best way possible, literally the way you're going to pay attention, which is literally playing a video game. And I think that's you saying that I didn't look at it that way, just from a different perspective in that way, but your way just makes so much sense. Not having a child, I don't look at it like that, but that's crazy to think, man. That's mind blowing. That's something crazy.
Yeah.
Um, so let's we're a little bit into this talk, and I think now is the time to say congratulations to you. I don't know how many people know about it. I think some people see it. I know I didn't literally know about it till we were talking off this recording, and you mentioned you are now a part of the Star Atlas team. You
Yep.
said you could talk about it. It's open to everybody. Let's dive into that. Tell us a little bit about that experience, and how that all went down. And congratulations, you deserve your flowers. It's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. Um, I will. I'll say it like it is. It's a bit of a dream come true. like, um, uh, so how it happened. Like we talked about before about Fleet Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that 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 tool, that product, had been on the market for I think 2 days, and I was in a live stream, and the person hosting the live stream said, "Hey, has anybody built anything lately, blockchain related, that they want to share with the group?" He just opened the floor up, and I
Right.
said, "Yeah, I just finished Fleet Pass. I'd love to show it to you." I gave a little demo, and the guy hosting the meeting said, I know the CTO of Star Atlas. Like I've got him as friends on Discord. I can connect you to if you'd like. And I
Wow.
just about fell off my chair. I went, what? And so you talk about like
Yeah.
providence or divine intervention or being in the right place at the right time. And it was like, yeah, like I'd love that conversation. And sure enough, two days later, I had a phone call, or just a Discord conversation real quick with Brave Target, and we set up a call, and he said, we're hiring, and we'd like you to come on board. And he kind of laid
Wow.
out what they had in mind, and it was like, how could I say no? Like what is it that I'm doing in my life that isn't worth stopping doing? And so I took some time to think about it, and I talked to my wife about it, and looked at the offer, and I basically wrapped up the projects that I've been working on, like in my own business,
Mm-hmm.
and and basically said, yeah, like I'd be happy to join your team, right? And and so December 10th was my first day, and it was right before the launch of Score, and so it was a bit of a whirlwind coming into a project that's um, how do I say this? Like coming from being outside the project and having all of the speculative nature that I've had about every crypto project, um, and then and especially about Star Atlas, right? Like you want to
Mm-hmm.
be skeptical, and you want to have a healthy take on things, and going from being an outsider to walking in the front door of the company for the first time and seeing how big the team was and seeing how active they were, looking at the roadmaps of the products that they had in mind for us new project managers to work on. And it was like that was my red pill. Like that was my Neo moment, going, wow, like there
Yeah.
is, like they've told us that all this is going on over and over and over again, but to see it for yourself for the first time was like, okay, like this is really going on. Like this game is like seeing all the artists and just the different teams talking and being part of the meetings and stuff. It was like, wow, okay, so this hole is way deeper than I would let myself imagine. Right, the skeptical side of me would have let myself imagine. Um, and then to find out that the people that you're working with they're top quality people. They're they're super talented developers. They're like-minded people, and so it feels like a really good fit. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
super excited to be on this team. And um, uh, the only downside is that I can't share everything I know anymore. And it's like, whereas before, like Deep Profits was all about like let's try and find these tidbits of information
Yeah.
that we can use to help each other. And now it's like, I feel good that I've taught people to look for these things, and that we have lots of good leaders in Deep Profits, and they've kind of taken over the reins and are continuing to build what I started. I think that's great because now in a sense I can't share as much as I could before. Definitely I can't share as much as I could before, but the net result is now that the community has this addition, like a whole bunch of additions actually. Like the community's growing, the guilds are growing. You know, um,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a
So
That's a wonderful thing, man. That's shout out to the Star Atlas team for recognizing your hard work and really putting somebody on the chessboard that is belongs there, I think. Um, it's kind of funny. I bet right when you walked in those doors, different game, but we all love it. You probably, I can imagine like hearing like the theme song, just like I've made it. um, and I'm sure Star Atlas will have an amazing song. So we'll insert that. We'll come back to this in
Sure,
like
sure,
5
sure.
years and insert that there, right? And we'll
Yeah,
have the Star Atlas song playing. But
yeah, yeah,
dude, that's crazy, yo. That's so cool because I mean everybody's literal um goal is like we all got whenever you came into this, your main goal, your main thought was sometime in the future I want to quit my day job and I want this to be my full-time job, playing in the Star Atlas Metaverse. And you, sir, have done that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
literally, and that's bravo, dude. Hand clap, firm handshakes. That is
yeah.
amazing.
So I'll
Go
just
ahead.
add to that. I see myself as like an average person. I don't know if everybody sees themselves as average, but
Yeah, yeah,
like
of course. Got to be humble.
if I can build something that lands me a job at Star Atlas, then and like like I get it. Like Fleet Pass, there's some really interesting components there, and it really was filling a need and all that. But it's like if I can do that, then and all these other people that I see them bringing in, like from the community, it's like there are roles for everybody in this metaverse. Like there are opportunities for everybody who's willing to take what they do best and apply it to this, right? And um, as we expand, like it's not just going to be artists and programmers um, and and UE5 developers. It's like
Right.
it's go this metaverse is going to need uh, leaders. It's going to need content creators, right? It's going to need everything from like it's going to need all of the basic roles that you have in real life. It's going to need pilots. It's going to need transport people. It's going to need like all those things. If that's your passion, like you can find a piece or a group or a guild that's aligning with that passion and start building, right? Like I just yeah,
Yeah, no, it's gonna need everybody. It's gonna need. We are Star Atlas, the hashtag.
yeah,
We need all of our helps.
yeah,
We need all of our help to, continue to move this whole ship itself forward and keep just crushing through outer space. And it really looks like we're on an uptrend that's only going up. And 2022 is going to be amazing. Kind of like I always say, so much foundation has been built across individuals themselves, guilds, and we've all just built so many launch pads. And I think like we're on that countdown and we're ready to blast off. And this is really a time to be alive, I would say. So let's have a little bit of fun. We were talking about you brought up suits in the future that actually track all your movements and how that corresponds with VR headsets and how that
mm-hmm.
correlates with Star Atlas in the future of that
Yeah.
area sector of Star Atlas. You want to talk a little bit about that and fantasize a little bit and what you see coming in the future and what you're excited
Yeah,
for in that
yeah,
realm?
yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna
Let's
give Ronnie from the club a shout out here because he put me
go.
onto this morning. Had a good chat with him about like community linking with the devs kind of thing. Like what can we do to make that connection stronger, right? So
Yep.
the really cool piece that he mentioned were these they're called Accents bodysuits, and it's a form
Yes.
of motion capture. I'll send you the link so you can put it in the video if you want.
Kind of like
And he mentioned the
mocaps. Is that kind of the same? I think that's what they're called, mocats or
oh yeah, mocap
mocaps,
suit. Yeah,
something like
you're right.
that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then he said that you compare it with this Manus VR Prime gloves for hand motion capture.
So sick.
And there's also a facial recognition portion where you mount a camera out in front of you, kind of like a selfie stick that's mounted to your shoulders,
Yep.
and it reads your facial expressions and puts them onto your avatar. And so you add all this stuff together, and what you have is your avatar, your full body size avatar, moving the way you move and speaking the way you speak. And you'll have to excuse my son here. He just came in. He's crying, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
hang
you're
on to
good.
him, and we'll keep talking. Um, so yeah, so there's this new kind of motion capture that's tied directly into Unreal Engine 5, and basically gives you full body and facial um, inputs for your character in the game,
Right.
right? Or maybe not in the game yet, but that would obviously be
The
a
future.
really cool
Yeah.
place to put it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so Ronnie and I were talking about, like, how cool would it be to have uh, a meeting in your galaxy, your guardian, sorry, the Calico Guardian, right? So,
Right.
or one of
Right.
these ships that has like a movie theater or an auditorium or something, and the people in there are their avatar, just like they would at home, almost like what you do with your Moonman character on the video here,
Right.
uh, but with like mind blowing detail, like the facial expressions of your avatar are your facial expressions, and so I mean, it's like Zoom is fine. Like you can see people's faces on Zoom, but like to be able to participate in these kinds of meetings in game, in character, uh, I think would just be like an amazing
It's gonna be
like an
surreal.
amazing step, like the next step, right? So
One step for mankind. All the steps for Star Atlas.
all the steps, yeah, yeah. So
That's
yeah,
gonna be
that's
cool.
definitely a cool piece of technology. And there's a
Excuse
bit
me.
of a segue there too. I want to mention like the trailer, like this, like the game alpha gameplay video that came out, right?
Yeah.
Um, like like I see like a lot of criticism about how it's just a movie and we need real footage, and it's like what people don't realize is that they were watching live action gameplay, and it's just that it's so real that that the fourth wall was never broken for them, right? They were
Right.
never able to make the connection between what they were seeing as being gameplay and and not think that it was like some kind of pre-rendered movie thing, right? So um, that is exciting as well, because as soon as those people realize that what they saw was gameplay footage, and as soon as we break that fourth wall for people, it's going to be like it's going to be crazy.
Yeah,
It's going to be really good.
you talked about that in Twitter Spaces, and it's it's really hard to think that that's what's coming. That is our gameplay right there. You're seeing it. That isn't a cinematic trailer. That's not show. That's gameplay. You were
Yep.
saying how it's not the grass moving, it's actually the engines pushing out that air or whatever it's, that pressure, and that's what's moving the grass. It's actually
Yep.
interacting with its environment. And if you were to go and look at, there's videos of this. If you go on YouTube, type in UE5 experience,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see, like, it's crazy, like the smoke and the water and liquid and slime. It all, like, it has actual what do you want to call it?
Yeah, yeah. There's two key technologies at play there. There's one called nanite, which
Yep.
is the ability for
The physics of this world actually are implemented into the UE5 experience. That's what I was trying to say. Yes.
okay, there you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so nanite makes up the nanite is what allows these regular like PlayStation 5s to render such great detail.
Hmm.
Uh, and then they have, I believe it's called lumens, I think is the lighting technology. And so if you Google some of these demos that you're mentioning, you can see like lumens and nanite interacting together. You can see like bugs reacting to light in game. You can see all the bajillion triangles that make up these creatures that have their own AI that move, and your character for that matter all kinds of detail, and all of those elements were present in the gameplay trailer. So it was just really I was blown away by it when I realized what I was watching.
Yeah, it's top notch
Like,
for sure. It's top level.
yeah,
Let me
yeah,
ask you this about UE5. So obviously,
sure.
I think it's every couple of years a new engine comes out, right? Or what's usually the time frame for new engines?
You know what? I'm not a UE5
Mm-hmm.
expert by any means.
Okay.
It's actually
Okay.
not an engine that I've followed in my career.
Uh,
I've always been working with
it'll be around here for some time though, right? It's not there's not a new UE6 isn't coming next year, right? Like
no,
it'll be
no,
here
no,
for
not
a
at all.
while.
Eh,
Okay.
the question is UE5 coming next year, like
Okay,
2022?
so it's not even
Like,
really out yet. Okay.
no,
Okay.
no, no. As far as I know, it's like alpha or beta software as well,
Okay.
right? So
Okay.
um, more and more people are using it. Like we saw that Matrix demo
Yeah.
come out
Yep.
in it,
Yep.
and so that will help. That will actually be the more studios and game studios that adopt it and put it in, the better. Like it'll help the technology,
Yeah, more money will come
right?
into it, and people will start using it, and it just gets more
Yeah,
notoriety, and it just, yeah, it moves the process along a little bit quicker. So yeah, to answer
yeah.
my question, I guess, yeah, UE5 is here to stay at least for the next 5 to 7, maybe 10 years. It's going to be around for a little bit of time. Um, so what happens maybe in the future? Maybe this is silly to ask, but what happens in 20 years when that UE6 has come along? Just somebody like Star Atlas and the team, and do you guys have to rebuild everything? Or, I mean, UE5 is pretty damn good. It'll probably just run on UE5 for forever, or does there come a engine change later on in the future to grow with the
Um,
times, or how does that work?
yeah. So this is pure speculation, but
Yeah.
just like other games have grown with the times in major version releases or whatever,
Uh-huh.
I'm sure that as new technology comes out, we would adopt it. Um, but like that's such a long time horizon.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and the metaverse, as I understand what we're building, and as I understand how other people are building, will not just be made up of um, Star Atlas, the UE5 3D space game. But if you think about it,
I'm
like,
sure engine swapping will become a technology that gets a lot easier too, as well in the future. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um,
yeah. But
yeah,
even like, what am I trying to say here? Like, the Final Frontier is part of Star Atlas
right.
proper. Like, maybe the two things don't completely, they're not compatible with each other completely yet, but your guild is part of the metaverse. And just like Fleet Pass is part of the metaverse because
Hmm.
we're using the same blockchain technology, right? We're connecting the same wallets. You're selling merchandise for your guild, which is part of the Star Atlas metaverse. And so, just like as new engines come out, new games will be the game will be upgraded to use that technology.
Hmm.
Other people outside of Star Atlas proper will build technology, I believe, build apps for your spaceships to fly in, right? Like we were joking around over the holidays. Wouldn't it be cool if if we could fly our spaceship into the office meetings and be like our ship be our avatar kind of thing? And it's like,
Yeah,
well, why couldn't it be? Like, why don't we just go find an open source game, you know, and on our own time, rebuild it to interact with Web3 and Solana, and then and
yeah,
then interact with each other over that, right? Like
yeah.
like
That's
you start
sick.
going down these rabbit holes, and it's like anybody can attach any technology they want to, and if it's compatible, people can bring their Star Atlas assets there and do stuff with them. Totally fine, right? Now the core team, we're choosing UE5, and they've laid out very clear roadmap as to what they're going to deliver and how that's going to look.
Hmm.
But it doesn't stop other people from building their own tools or toys or mini games or instructional videos or storefronts that are compatible with their Star Atlas NFTs, right? So yeah, I just think like it's hard to imagine, but in 5 years or even 10 years, like there's going to be a lot to this metaverse, and
Yeah.
the piece we're building here is going to be a staple of that. But it won't be the whole picture. There'll be other ways for you to interact with with the Star Atlas Metaverse. I don't know. Maybe it'll all just be called the Metaverse, and Star Atlas will be one component of it, or maybe there'll
Right.
be bridges between the two. Like there's bridges between different cryptos. I don't really know.
Yeah, it's all a toss up. It's all a mystery right now, but I'm looking forward to seeing how it all plays out. Hey man, look, I'm so glad uh that you took the time out of your day to talk to me and really inform the people a little bit more about who you are, because they're gonna love this. They love you already, and I know I'm super happy to have gotten the time to spend with you. Congratulations on now working for the team and really turning this reality or this dream into a reality, and being able to do this full time. It's absolutely outstanding. You deserve all the credit that's going to be given to you in the future and given to you right now. And just thank you so much. Please tell the people where they can find you, how they can reach you, and yeah, please let them know.
Sure. So um, officially, you can reach me at xcode.com if you wanted to send me an email. But keep that for business stuff. Um, the
And say it one more time, because I think it actually cut out at
Oh yeah,
gmail.com.
no, Xcode at staratlas.com.
Perfect. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean in the official Star Atlas Discord, my name's Xcode. I'm right there in the developer list. I've got a little icon beside my name, um, and you can ping me there. My DMs are open. I'm one of the few people on the team with DMs open, and that's just because I want to keep building this like link between communities and developers. Now, in the new year, I'm not sure if there will be set times when I'll be available or how that's going to work, because I'm obviously going to be digging into the new projects coming out. But you're welcome to try and DM me on Discord. Um, you can come check out the guild that I started and get to know people. If you're if you're looking for a guild, you can check out deepprofits.org. There's links to our Discord there. If you're looking for like a bigger guild, a bigger community, check out Interstellar Alliance and look for the UMO and dig into those guilds and see if there's something there that's a good fit for you. But um, yeah, otherwise, pop into my Discord and say hi. I'm just a regular person. Um,
That's awesome.
and yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that you're the master coder, you're the master of the universe, right?
For sure.
If this is a simulation. So, yeah, you guys heard it here first, man. Please, please, please contact him if you need any help with anything relating to Star Atlas, or you want to know more about him, or even just more about the Deep Profits Guild. So, Xcode, I really appreciate this time. And, everybody, please, 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 please go follow him, support him. He's really doing big things. And, hashtag we are Star Atlas. Thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast episode as well as YouTube video. This is the Moon Man Experience. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.